Good morning, students. So today we will be studying about growth curve. Now let us see, before moving on to the actual topic, let us see some definitions. Now we are going to study about the growth curve of bacteria. What does growth actually means in bacteria? It's actually here growth in, if we have to consider growth of human beings or plants or animals, it's actually increase in girth and increase in length of the individuals. But here growth for microorganisms means increase in number of cells. Here the number is increasing, not the girth of the organism, not the length of the organism. It's the increase in number of cells. Okay, and how do they increase the number of cells? Because they reproduce by various techniques. When they reproduce by various methods like binary fission, budding, etc., fragmentation, so all these methods will help them to increase the number. So this increase in number is called as growth. What is growth rate? When you inoculate the organism into a fresh medium, there is change in number of cells. That is, the number of cells will start increasing. After a particular time the number starts remaining constant or they decrease. So at a given point of time, for this much amount of time, say for after say 2 hours, how many cells have increased? So that is called as a growth rate. That is the rate or the change in cell mass or cell number per given unit time. That is called as growth rate. That is how many cells have changed, how many cells is at a given point of time, or at a given a point of duration of hour, per unit time, how many cells have increased or decreased, or have they remained changed. So this change in cell mass or cell number per unit time is called as growth rate. Then moving on to generation. Now what is meaning of generation here? I told you that when one cell divides to give rise to 2, and then 2 gives rise to 4, that is multiplication of cells. So when we inoculate the organisms, the organisms will multiply, increase in number. That's called as growth. Generation is when these organisms are multiplying. That is, there is one cell. This one cell through various stages finally gives rise to two cell. So this cell will be called as the first generation, and this cell that is formed, these two daughter cells that is formed, is called as the second generation. So the cells, when one cell divides to give rise to two cells, so this change or this increase in number, exponential increase in number, is called as generations. So this is the first generation, this is the second generation. These two further will give rise to 4, that will be called as a third generation. So the cells are growing exponentially. Next, moving on to the next terminology, that is generation time. Now, as I told you, one cell through a series of stages gives rise to two cells. Now, the time that is required for conversion of one cell to two cells, or for the conversion of first generation to the second generation, the time that is required, uh, that is called as generation time. The time required for the bacterial cell to move from first generation to the second generation, that is called as generation time. What is growth curve? Now this, when we inoculate the organism into a fresh medium, the bacteria, it goes through various phases. It goes the number, there is a change in number of cells that we see through the duration. As the time increases, there will be change in number of cells. So this change in number of cells, it could be increase in number, it could be the constant number, or whatever. So this change in number of cells could be represented graphically. And when we graphically represent the change in number of cells with respect to time, this curve is obtained. So this curve that is obtained is called as growth curve. The graphical representation that we see, or that is studied when the organisms goes through various phases of their life, during which goes through various phases against time. So that is called as growth curve. So if we have to see what are the different stages, there are basically main stages are lag phase, log phase or exponential phase, stationary phase and death phase. Lag phase is divided into initial stationary phase and phase of accelerated growth. Logarithmic phase is also called as exponential phase. This can further be divided into logarithmic growth phase and phase of decreasing growth rate. Stationary phase is one constant phase. Death phase, and that has phase of increasing death rate and logarithmic death rate. Now moving on to the graphical representation. So looking at this graph, we will be studying the various stages of growth. Now here if we see, I have told you the change in number of cells with respect to time is represented on a graph. So this, on the x-axis we are going to plot the, or we are going to show the time, and on the y-axis is the number of cells. When we inoculate the organism into a fresh medium, we have a master culture with us already, the organisms are growing, but probably the nutrients would have got depleted over the days. So we are transferring the organism into a fresh medium. We prepare a fresh medium, sterilize it, and then now we inoculate the organism from the master culture. When we inoculate the organism into fresh medium, the organism now starts going through various phases. Now what are these phases? Initially when we grow the organisms, when we transfer, definitely we are transferring some number, so it does not start from the origin, it's not starting from 0, but from here a little above from, but it is at the 0th minute. So the graph starts from here. Now when we inoculate the organism, some cells are there at the 0th minute. As the time increases, you can see the time is increasing. As the time increases, the number will remain constant. Now there are reasons as to why the number of cells remain constant. That is because one, the organisms were used to grow in one particular environment, so a sudden change in the environment is a little difficult for them to adjust, so they take their time for adjusting to the new environment. There is change in pH, there is change in alkalinity, there are many different nutritional changes are there. So there are many changes which the organism needs to adapt to, so that is the time that they are taking to adapt to the new environment. That's the reason they are not increasing in number even though the time increases. The second reason is, when we are transferring the organism with the inoculation loop, there are chances that there could be damages that is done on the cell wall or the cell membrane. So the cell is repairing itself. So repairing the organism is taking some time. So again, there is no increase in cells. The third reason is that just before the cell starts dividing, what are the ingredients or what are the requirements for the organism to divide? Now all those components has to be prepared. Like for example, if we are about to do some cooking, we need to do some preparations prior, only then we can proceed. Similarly here also, the organism, before the multiplication starts, the organism needs to keep all the substances, all the components, all the enzymes that is required for the replication. It has to be prepared, so it has to synthesize these new components. So it is taking time for synthesis of these new components that is required for replication. So that is the reason that it is still in the lag phase. So these are the reasons why the organisms is not increasing in number. One, it is getting adjusted to the new environment. Second, it's repairing itself if there are damages that is caused. And the third one is, it is preparing, it is synthesizing the components that is required for the growth. Now at the end, that's why it is called as a lag phase, because it is lagging, there is no increase in number of cells. At the end of the lag phase, you can see there is a small curve, which means few of the cells would have finished their preparation, would have already repaired, so they would have got adjusted quickly when compared to the other cells. So some of the cells are now ready for replication, and hence as the time increases, slowly some cells, say out of 100, say 20 cells will now start multiplying. So here you can see a small curve is there, that is phase of accelerated growth, which means slowly some of the cells will start increasing. So you can see a small curve which is increasing here. So slowly some of the cells will start multiplying. Now after some time, you can see that now by this time all the cells are now ready for multiplication. You can see the graph simply shoots up, which means all the cells are now ready, adjusted, everything is done. So now their work is only to divide, nothing else. So they are only dividing at this stage, only dividing, nothing else. So they are only dividing, they are not undergoing a period of rest, nothing. So that's why as the time increases, you can see that there is a sudden shoot up, number shoots up. This is called as the logarithmic growth phase or exponential phase. The number increases exponentially, so that is why it is called as the exponential phase. Now this is the phase which the organisms are continuously active, which means they are multiplying, which means they are feeding, they are consuming the nutrients, and at the same time they are releasing out the metabolites, that is the toxins for them. It is a toxin for them, so they are releasing out the metabolites. Now where are they releasing? Obviously they do not come out of the Petri plate, release the metabolites and get back to the Petri plate. They are releasing the metabolites into the same medium where they are into. So what happens in this stage is that they are highly active, they are feeding, so nutrition, they are feeding and they are releasing out the metabolites. So this is a phase which is very important in terms of research. So if anybody wants to do any research, want to do any study about a particular organism, what is the growth rate, how quickly the organism divides, or want to study the cell cycle, or want to check whether the organism is able to produce a particular enzyme, or is able to break down a particular component, all those things are done in this log phase or mid log phase. Bacteria, generally it is reached somewhere after 18 to 24 hours to 48 hours. Now it varies with different types of bacteria. At the end of the log phase, what happens is, as I told you already, that the organism is highly active and it is continuously feeding, so amount of nutrition starts depleting in the medium, and there is accumulation of the toxic materials into the medium, which means in other words the pH also starts keep changing. So some of the cells now slowly will start dying, they will stop multiplying, not all but some. So you can see again a curve here wherein some of the cells will start dying because there is depletion of nutrition, because here they would have consumed lots of nutrition. So increase in death rate. Then initial stationary phase, this is called as the initial stationary phase. Then as the time proceeds, what will happen at this particular point of time? By this time the organisms would have utilized most of the nutrients. So here what happens is, most of the nutrients, not majority I'm saying, but it would have utilized the nutrients. So here what happens is, the number of cells dividing will be equal to the number of cells dying. That is, if there were say 1000 cells at this stage, out of the 1000 cells, 500 cells will die and 500 cells will multiply. So ultimately again it will reach up to 1000. Again out of that 500 will die. How many remain? 500. Those 500 will again multiply, so 1000. So what is happening is, the number of cells dividing is equal to the number of cells dying. Number remains constant, and hence this phase is called as a stationary phase, wherein the number of cells remain constant as the time increases. Number of cells dying is equal to number of cells dividing. Now why is this? Because here nutrition has become less, depletion of nutrition and increase of toxic materials in the medium, and in other words we can say increase of metabolites. Now this phase is important industrially. If I want to produce something, extract something from a microorganism, or if there is some production from a particular microorganism, so at this particular phase, that production, actually the metabolites are released, the secondary metabolites are released by the microorganism in this particular phase. So this phase is very important in terms of industrial production. Then of course you can see that its nutrients are not completely depleted, they have become less. Still you can see that some of the cells are alive, they are dividing, though the rate would have decreased. So as a result of which, nutrients still keeps on depleting, and again there is increase of the toxins, or you can say the metabolites, which is toxic for the microorganism. As a result, the number of cells dying will be more. You can see again a small curve there. Here you can see that the number of cells dying will increase when compared to the number of cells dividing. Say there were 1000 cells here. Initially in this phase there were 500 dying and 500 multiplying, but here when it reaches the number of cells dying will be more. Say there will be 600 cells dying and only 400 cells will multiply to give rise to 800 cells. So out of this 800, again 500 will 500 or 600 will die, and the remaining will multiply. So as a result, the number of living cells, viable cell, keeps on decreasing. So there is increase in death of the microorganism, that curve. And as the time increases, the number of cells dying increases and the rate of viable cells keeps on decreasing. So that is why you can see the graph is falling down. So this is called as the death phase, because number of cells dying are more when compared to the number of alive cells. This is called as the death phase or the decline phase. Now another phase which is not shown here, that is after the death phase, there will be one constant phase which is represented like this in a horizontal way. That is, if there are some cells which can still survive in this extreme conditions, if they are able to survive in the without nutrition, still those organisms, that is if they are able to produce certain endospores under unfavorable conditions, those organisms will still survive. So they will not multiply in this phase, but the number remains constant. So this phase which is horizontal like this, it will be shown, that is called as phase of survival. So there is a last phase which is called as phase of survival. So these are the different stages. These organisms, phase of survival, they may, if I revive the culture, if I give the organism, if I transfer these organisms into fresh medium, there are chances that these organisms could get revived and they start multiplying, but that does not hold good always. So these are the different phases of growth, bacterial growth. When you represent the different phases of growth on a graph, a curve is formed, and that is called as the bacterial growth curve. So if we have to quickly go through, when we transfer the organisms into a fresh medium, the bacteria goes through various stages, various phases. These phases are represented on a graph, and that's called as a graph growth curve, wherein the on the x-axis there is time and y-axis represent the number of cells. Initially there is a lag phase where the number remains constant. There are various reasons as to why the number remains constant. After some time the organism only multiplies, which is very important if you have to study about that particular organism basically in research. And the next phase is the stationary phase, where the number of cells dying is equal to the number of cells multiplying. And after that the phase of decline or death phase, where the organisms dying will increase than the number of cells being alive. After that, the last stage is the phase of survival, where the organisms may not be feeding, may not be active, they may not die also, they may not multiply, but they remain alive. Probably when return of favorable conditions, they would continue their replication. So these are the various stages of bacterial growth curve. What are the factors that is responsible for the proper bacterial growth curve, or which will affect the growth curve of bacteria? Of course, all the physical factors and the nutritions. So nutrition is very very important. Apart from that, temperature, pH, oxygen and osmotic pressure. So these are the factors that is affecting the growth of bacteria. Thank you, students.